Good afternoon. It's time for another NFL Bucky's Mail Day. The your host, Mike Cena, of course, Star Show. As always, it's Bucky. Say hi, Bucky. Bucky says hi. Not too happy today, but he's calmed down. The Badgers lost to the Minnesota Gophers, 17-7, and they lost the Axe. Well, they didn't have it because the Gophers won the last, I think, 3 games, something like that. They might have lost 4 in a row. I can't remember, somewhere in that range. So the Axe has not come back to Madison, and Bucky is not happy. First, Bucky, what do you have in front of you? Well, we've got the picture of the axe. That's about the closest we got, Bucky. And we've got, I took one of my old, it's not a sweatshirt. I guess it's a sweatshirt. And I have for years, long time. And it was torn. I thought, it's time to retire it. So I cut the main graphic out, and I'm going to try and get a frame. I'm going to trim it down a little bit and get a frame. See, if probably a 4x6, maybe a little bigger. I can't be sure. But so I'm going to put it in a frame and do something with it in our room. But we're going to talk about the Badgers, and I was going to talk about the Lions, of course. They had chances in that game against the Gophers. It was played in Minnesota. Weather was not very, very happy there. Snow, wind, cold, but it's Minnesota. And this offense just kept making mistakes. Quarterback had some good throws and some good plays. The touchdown was nice, but they never really got close after that. And they just didn't play well. That being said, season's over. They were 4-8. I think I forgot to check the record. I think it's 4-8. So obviously no bowl game, and they don't deserve one. But Fickle still has his job, even though other coaches have lost theirs, and quite a few actually. I'm not going to go over the list. But Michigan State lost theirs, for example. And so it wasn't uncommon for a Big Ten coach to lose their job, but just not in Wisconsin. So I think he's going to get another year, or at least half a year, and see what happens. I don't know what the contract situation is. It'll be less, I'm assuming, than this year. But we'll see what happens. And same thing with the athletic director. They got some recruits coming in. They lost, quite a few seniors, and they get some transfers, of course. They already have a couple very, very good offensive linemen coming in, so that'll help a little. But this team needs a lot of transition and just an overhaul, change in everything, just about. But we'll see. We'll give it another chance. I don't agree with it, but they don't ask me or Bucky, so we'll see what happens. But watch the game. Like I said, it was in Minnesota, and a lot of bad commentary after the game. They rushed the field. They beat a 4-8 team, and they have to rush the field. And the Gophers were I think they were game above 500, so they didn't have a great season either. Yeah, they're going to some lower end bowl game. But to rush the field, really, they already had the axe. So I think that was a little bit overdone, in my opinion. But, what can you do? If you don't want it to happen, then win the damn game. So now this Saturday, as I said, their season's over. The Big Ten championship game. Number 1, the Ohio State versus number 2, Indiana. That game's on in the afternoon. I have to watch that. That's going to be a barn burner. And so that'll be exciting to watch that game. Last week was, rivalry games, and there are a lot of good ones. And after this, the bowls will be decided, and that number 1 and number 2 will be epic, especially the Indiana. But they got probably the number one draft prospect, and so I can't wait for that game to actually start. Okay, that being said, the Lions, not too much to report from there. A little bit. Made a few roster moves, not as many as I'd like. They signed a tight end and a running back. They lost Craig. Come on, Craig Reynolds. I can't. Some other team signed him, and I can't remember who it was. But they signed a running back and a tight end. They're having tight end issues. Kirby Joseph might be back. I'm not sure exactly, but I know Amon Ra will not be back for this game. And they play the Cowboys on Thursday night on Prime. And I have Prime, so that's good. This is a must-win because if they lose this game, their season's over. I mean, I don't think there's any chance. They don't have a great chance to make it now. If you beat the Cowboys, that'll be huge because the Cowboys are playing pretty well, and they won their Thanksgiving game. So we'll see what happens with that, and we will obviously watching that game. And they got some tough games coming up. They got the Rams coming up, which the Rams actually lost after kind of reverted back to his Lions days. They threw 3 interceptions, I believe it was. At least they had 3 turnovers. So they're not infallible by any means. And right now, the number one team in the NFC is the Chicago Bears. The Bears. How in the hell could the Bears, and the Packers are number 2. So it's kind of a reversal from last year, actually. Not totally, but a big difference. And we watched the Vikings game. Oh my God, Carlo was not happy. It's the first time they were shut out in almost 20 years, and they did not play well. They had a ton of turnovers. Their quarterback was terrible, and he made a wild throw. He was about to be sacked, and the Seahawks returned it, intercepted, and returned it for a touchdown. That was the big difference in the game. They never recovered from that. So the Vikings have a lot of problems, especially at quarterback. And Carlos pretty much, buried the season. I can't blame her for that. But so we'll see what happens on Thursday. We'll make a video on Thursday and Thursday night. And, probably again Monday. We'll see. Or I might just wait till Monday. I haven't decided yet. But we'll see what happens with that. We'll get at least one out. The draft hasn't changed that much. So the Jets won. So what the hell are doing? One. Tennessee is still first, so we'll see what happens there. But I haven't seen the current order. Got Monday night game. The Patriots play the Giants, I believe that is. I'm pretty sure about that. I had an okay week so far as my fantasy teams. It's tough, when your team does well, and like with me, I have almost all Lions players. And so when they do really well, then I usually obviously do very well in fantasy. When they don't do as well, this week was kind of middle of the road. So Amon Ra got nothing because he was injured. But Jameson Williams had a great game. Goff had an okay game. And so, it was kind of a mixed bag. Like I said, my overall standings, I'm not really that concerned. It's fantasy football. It's for fun. But other than that, Bucky, weather's been really bad out here. I've had quite a few inches of snow. I did some shoveling today. Kind of wore me out a little bit, but I wanted to get this done before it got too late. Temperature's been down. It's like in the 20s, maybe less. But it wasn't bad outside when I was shoveling, so it just tires me out. I'm not as young as I used to be, Bucky. But last week's video, I forgot to check. I'll put it in the comments if I can. I think they did. Last time I looked, I remember it was like 5 or 6, so it's probably maybe 8, somewhere in that range. But so I'll get a video either Thursday or next Monday normal time. If they win, I guess I'll do it on Thursday. I'll put it that way. If not, I can wait till Wait till Friday or next Monday, I mean. But other than that, Bucky, yep. So for Mike Cena Course Star Show, as always, we survived Black Friday. So that's always good. And I'm going to the mall this weekend and get Carlos a big Christmas present. And I'm still waiting on a couple other ones. I might do some Christmas wrap. We put our decorations up. Got the tree up. Looks very nice. I put all the decorations. We have a system. She puts the lights and the garland. I put the decorations up, the ornaments. So it works out well. Okay, Bucky. Say bye, Bucky. Bucky says bye. And we'll catch you next week, maybe twice. And be safe, be warm, and take care. Bye now.